Today we're looking at Superman number 35 from Justice League Unlimited. He has the keywords Justice League, Kryptonian, Metropolis, Celebrity, and Future. Let's take a look at his first two traits. First one is Boom Tube Travel. Once per game, phase and teleport. When Superman uses it, his speed value is 12, and after resolutions, remove an action token from him. So that's useful because he can move across the board through anything, then removes a token. So you can use it once your opponent is maxed out on their tokens, or you can take the chance and see if Superman can withstand some of the attacks and get him across the board right into the mix. His second trait is 7 decades under a yellow sun. Super strength. Superman has protected outwit except from characters that are higher points or that can use the Superman enemy team ability. So that protected outwit keeps his powers and abilities intact. Superman has 2 special powers. One attack power, which is on the first half of his dial, and one defense power, which is on the second half of his dial. They are both fantastic special powers. Let's take a look. On the first half, his special attack power is Quake. When he uses it and targets more than one character, each hit character is dealt 4 damage instead of 2. So that special attack power is great. He can move in, he has Quake, he has Charge on his dial. So he can charge in, Quake, and deal 4 damage to characters instead of the 2. That way, if people have reducers, sometimes the multi-target Quake isn't that good if you're going against reducing opponent. 4 damage, if they don't have a reducer, that can be huge. Can knock people on to the end of their dials or even KO them. And he can do that to multiple targets. If they have reducers, it still gets them off of their top clicks, which are usually their strongest, and then softens them up for the follow-up attacks. The special defense power is 3 stop clicks. That's just great all by itself. But then, when he clears 2 tokens, he heals up 1. So he can be bouncing around on those 3 stop clicks quite a bit. It's going to be very hard for people to work through those stops unless they've planned for it. Okay, let's take a look at the back of his card. As you can see, he has 8 range, 1 target. He has a 12 movement on his opening click with charge. He has that special attack power, which gives him the Quake, and then the 4 damage to the multi-target Quake. He has an 18, he's indomitable, and has leadership with 4 damage. He has invincible as his defense power. And as you can see, he gets stronger when you hit him onto that second click. He'll be at a 19. When you get down to these stop clicks, look at how fantastic these things are. So if somebody does work through these high values and knocks him down onto his stops, his first one is a stop at a 17, but he has an attack of 13, an attack of 12, and an attack of 11. That first stop click is great. The second one is very good, and the third one is solid too. As they hit him down here, though, remember, he could clear tokens to heal up off of that. You could put different types of objects on him to give him some other healing options. But working through these 3 stops at the end is going to be very tough for your opponent. Okay, let's take a look at what he can do on the battlefield. We're going to pick this battle up 1 round in. The first round, all that happened was Superman's team, which is comprised of Crimson Avenger and The Question, moved up from their starting area, their full movement to get in position against Lex's team, which is comprised of Lex, Copperhead, Solomon Grundy, and Sinestro. You'll see that on the first turn, Lex, Copperhead, and Sinestro moved up. Sinestro carried Solomon Grundy into position. Okay, we're going to do this one with the actual die rules and see how that goes. So we're picking up with Superman's turn. First, we're going to have the question move. He has a movement of 7. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put him into position here. He will outwit Invincible on Grundy. We'll give the question his action token for moving. We will have Crimson Avenger perplex up Superman's attack. Superman is then going to charge. As you remember, Superman has a movement of 12, so he's going to be able to charge 6. He's a flyer, so he ignores elevation. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and place right here. So now he can take advantage of that quake. So he's charge, quake. Remember, his quake, it will deal 4 damage instead of 2 whenever he does the multiple targets. Okay, Superman has a native 11. He got perplexed up by 1, so he'll be swinging with a 12. Let's take a look and see what that roll turns out to be. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's a crit hit. Well, we couldn't have hoped for anything better than that. So that crit hit is going to increase the damage dealt by 1. So he's going to be dealing 5 damage, and it gets past the super senses on Copperhead. So he'll be dealing 5 damage plus knockback to these characters. So let's resolve that. We'll do Copperhead first. Copperhead will take the 5. Which is going to be a KO. Let's do Lex next. He has no reducer. He'll take 5 plus the knockback. 5 is the KO on Lex. Sinestro will take 5. He has toughness, so he'll actually take 4 plus the knockback. Okay, 4 puts him on energy shield deflection. He will knock back here into the wall. Which will take 1 more. Puts him on click number 6, so on his last click. Grundy's defense was outwitted. So we'll deal him the 5. He has nothing that prevents knockback, so he'll also take the knockback. But 5 will be the KO. Now Grundy has a trait that when he would be KO'd the first time, instead turn him to either click number 1, and he can't use this trait again this game. And it's protected pulse wave. So if you don't know, Solomon Grundy has split dial. He was on the invincible side of the dial. Now we're going to put Grundy on the charge side of his dial because he will be taking that knockback. You remember that knockback looks for things that prevent it during the hit phase of the attack sequence. So even though he'll be on this click, we already determined that he'll be taking the knockback. If I was to put him on his invincible click, this is still outwitted, so he would be taking the knockback damage. This is going to prevent it, the damage part of it, but he'll still be taking the knockback. So he was on this square. He took those clicks to knock him back, he would be going on this diagonal path and falling right here, which is off of the elevation, so right into that square. He would take no damage because he has the reducer, and we will put him down there on click number 1 of that side of the dial. Alright, that attack's resolved. Superman was able to KO 2 characters, a 50-pointer and a 40-pointer. So he already scored 90 points. He put Sinestro to his last click and got through the first half of Grundy's dial, all with 1 attack. Let's go ahead and give him his action token. Then we're going to move on to the Injustice League's follow-up. Okay, now both Grundy and Sinestro have the Injustice League trait, which is at the beginning of your turn, roll a d6, give an action token on a result of 6, give an action token to an opposing character that's 100 points or less. So we have the Question that's maxed out on tokens, but we do have Crimson Avenger sitting over there with 1. So there is a potential that we could give that token out. Okay, Sinestro's going to go for his. That's a 6. We will give the token then to Crimson Avenger. Crimson Avenger is now has 2 tokens. Since the Crimson Avenger doesn't have Indomitable or Willpower, he will take his push damage. Alright, let's go into that follow-up attack. Sinestro is on his last click, which has Range Combat Expert and Sidestep. He will attempt to shoot Superman. He's swinging with a 9. We'll do Range Combat Expert, 1 into attack, 1 into damage, because Sinestro's damage is only 2. So he'll need to be dealing at least 3 to get through Superman's Invincible. So swinging with a 10 on an 18, Sinestro will need an 8. That's a 7, so that's a miss. Sinestro will push to do that because he needed to try to get some damage there for Grundy to do some follow-up, so that push will KO Sinestro. Grundy is going to charge. He has a 6 movement, so he can charge for 3. And we will charge into the Question to try to score some points. So Grundy will charge 1, 2, and do the attack from here. So he's going to charge Quake. So again, doing that charge Quake. Grundy is an 11 attack. The Question is a 19 up close. Grundy is going to need an 8 to hit the Question. That's a 5. That's a miss. So things are not looking too bright for the Injustice League. That would complete Grundy's turn. We'll move on to the Justice League's turn. Both the Crimson Avenger and the Question have Justice League Unlimited trait, which is at the beginning of your turn, roll a d6. On a result of a 6, remove an action token from another friendly character with the Justice League keyword that's 100 points or less. So we will roll for the Question first. That's not a 6. And we will roll for Crimson Avenger. Also not a 6. All the Justice League characters are maxed out with 2 tokens each. The Question will outwit Grundy's Quake to try to avoid that knockback, and then everybody's gonna clear. Okay, Grundy's turn. He is going to roll for his Injustice League trait, and that's not a 6. He is going to attempt to punch the Question. Again, swinging with an 11 into that 19. We'll need an 8. That is a 7, so a miss. Justice League's turn. The question will outwit Grundy's defense, which is invulnerability. Superman's over here. He is going to charge. Go in 1, 2, 3, 4. Superman has a 12 attack value. Grundy is at 18, so we are going to need a 6 or better. And that is a 7. You'll be hidden for 4. Grundy reduces by 2. So we take 2 clicks. Superman will take his token. That puts Grundy on click number 3, which is a 6 movement flurry, steel energy with 11 attack, 18 defense toughness, and 3 damage with battle fury. That flurry, steel energy, would be great, but he is maxed out at 2 tokens, so he's going to have to survive a little bit longer. We're going to take Crimson Avenger, move him up. He has an 8 movement. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put him right here into the mix. The question has already used his outwit. He is going to try to attack, swing him with an 10. He has a 2 damage, so he's going to be trying to hit for 1 past. Grundy's an 18, so we'll need an 8 or better. That's a 4, which is a miss. On Grundy's turn, he's going to clear. We'll roll for the questions. Justice League Unlimited, not a 6. And Crimson Avengers, also not a 6. Okay, let's see if we can get through Grundy this turn. The question is going to start by outwitting Grundy's toughness. Crimson Avenger has poison, so we're going to activate the poison to deal 1 damage to Grundy. That puts him on the same powers, but drops his movement to a 5 and his defense to a 17. The question has a pretty cool trait. It's called Questioning Authority. Power. If there is no d6 on this card, roll a d6 and place it on this card. Whenever a character within 6 squares in line of fire makes an attack, you may remove the d6 from this card and replace a die in the roll with it. So here's that if you'd like to see it. Now, even though we have Theme Prob on the team we could use, I'm going to show you how this ability works. So we're going to activate the questions trait. We'll give him a power action. We'll roll a d6. That's a 5. We'll put that on his card. Superman is going to try to attack Grundy. Superman has an 11 attack value. And he is swinging on a 17 defense. So we need a 6 or better. That toughness is still outwitted. That's an 8. Superman is dealing 4 damage. Grundy just has 2 clicks left. So second click is the KO. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. Superman's ability is fantastic. The dice roll worked out well for us today, but even without that, it would have decimated the team he was going against. If they were able to land follow-up attacks, it probably wouldn't have worked out any better because they would have knocked him onto stop clicks. that special power, he would be able to heal up when he was removing those 2 tokens. So that Superman is super tough. Hope you use him on a team. He does come in at 175 on the points, so he's a little bit pricey, but he's a beast. All right, thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Here's a closer look at the items that we used in today's video. We have the Majestic dice. I think they look super cool. They were from the 2020 1K series. We have the ROC wood token from last year's event. And we have our local Hyper Tucsonic team tokens that were custom made. All of them super cool. Let me know what you think about those down below. Thanks. Check it out. If you dig what we do, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.